Welcome to the Four Students Podcast. It's me, Ed, and your favorite, Kelly.
What's
up? Holy smokes, this is going to be so short, this intro, because we just need to get to it.
We got to be fast.
Well, not only do we got to be, we need to be. Time is an issue, but like there's no I don't know. This discussion that we have today with our friend Chris Lee is amazing. We've been friends with him for I've been friends with him for 14 years. You met him shortly after that, so almost the same amount of time. He's on our team. He helps create all the visuals and things that we see. He's going to edit this freaking podcast we're recording. That comes up. But he is so honest today about this journey that he's been on. And it's November. It's Men's Health Month. And this could not be more appropriate, what we jump into today. Yeah. So, I don't know, just trigger warning for anyone listening who's dealt with suicidal ideation, who has had dark spaces. We get into suicidal ideation today. We talk about suicide. So just, we need you to be aware of that. You know about 988. You know about these resources. We'll include those in the show notes. If you are struggling, please reach out to somebody, because that part of reaching out to somebody is such a huge portion of this story today. So heavy, but so hopeful. So good. It's, I don't know. We've had some great episodes. This has been my favorite one to film so far, because of how meaningful it is. I don't know, for whatever that's worth. Can't wait for you to hear this interview with Chris Lee. Dude, Chris Lee. It's so wild. You're always behind the camera. You're always in the editing bay, editing all of our episodes. Almost everything we put out visually, except the stuff that doesn't quite look right, isn't quite centered, is the wrong font that doesn't quite match other stuff, is you. Like, you're this incredibly talented guy that now I've known. I think we met like in 2011 or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so like 14 years we've been friends. Worked together in a couple different places. How does it feel to be sitting in front of the camera?
Not great. No, it's good. It's weird though. Like, and is this what I've been doing to people all these years? Like, putting them, like prodding them with like questions and like,
it is.
Gosh, I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't know it felt like this. But no, man, it's good. I'm excited to be here. And
what's funny, because we've talked about this even when we asked, like, would you be willing to do this? And you're like, I don't know. What are we going to talk about? But I said, well, will you be compromised because you have to edit your own podcast?
Yeah.
And so that's going to be interesting, being like, shoot, I hate the way I said that, but I have to
live
include it.
and we'll know.
Yeah,
we'll know what you cut out.
As we say in unison. Bling.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. No, I'm such a feeler. Like, it's it just depends on how I feel about it in the moment, and I'm also not very good at like filtering myself.
That's okay. That's one of the things we love about you.
I know. I think it's one of the things we all love about each other is that when we're together, we can be like, we're kind of open books with each other.
Well, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, what's the point of like hiding what you're feeling? Like, you're feeling it. Like, it's,
agree.
Just get stuff out there.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I will say this, and this is going to get meta for a second, but on this podcast, and sorry to use that term, but you'll understand why I'm using it. In podcasts, we are talking to everybody. Like, when it's us just sitting around, it feels so different because you can be 100% honest, and it is a conversation for us. This is a conversation for us that everybody gets to listen in on. And we've talked about this a bunch, where it's why I haven't started my own personal podcast, because I think it would be fun to think there's lots of people I would sit and love to chat and have these crazy conversations like we all have and record it and see where it goes. But I think we would end up doing a lot of damage locally. Like in our own relationships and in this world of real relationships that we have here in Charlotte and, in other places where we have friends. And meanwhile, we would end up being really interesting to listen to people that don't know us who are far away. But we would damage our actual physical relationships. Yeah. It's like, wow, I didn't think Ed thought that.
I mean, not damage, but change.
Well, potentially, change. I mean, they're
damage some, change others, like perspectives of you and.
Yeah. Yeah,
people you
not
bring
like
on.
we're talking like shit behind other people's backs. I think I'm more talking about, wow, Ed's brain goes some really weird places.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a person that I believed this or that I could trust this. And now he's talking about all this stuff. And
well, I think
I don't know.
For like people and I don't know, organizations, like they want things to be black and white.
Yeah.
And it's not, man. I live securely in the gray, like all the time.
Yes.
And like, I don't know, man, like I don't know, every situation's different.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I would say no to some things, and in a different situation with the different people, circumstances, it would be a yes for the same exact question.
Right.
And so like,
yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's messy.
That's
It's
exactly
messy.
right. Yeah.
It's true.
So we're going to try and keep it between the ditches today, I think, is what we're going to try and do. But continue to be as real as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But it's while we're recording this, it's middle of November. It's right before Thanksgiving. And so November has become, like Movember. It's become Men's Health Month. And I think that it started, I'm trying to remember how it started. Wasn't it specifically like testicular cancers and things like, or something like that? I thought it was.
Yeah.
And it's like grow a mustache like Movember. And I remember all of that. And Nick Offerman having like the things that would help you grow a mustache, like biting into like an onion and hammer a nail. And he had all these like stereotypical man kind of things he would talk about.
I've loved Nick Offerman.
Yeah. He's a good
Ron
dude.
Swanson.
Yeah.
So cool.
But it's become far more comprehensive as far as like men's health generally. And as we've known you over these years, recently, like we've all commented on this journey that we've watched you specifically, not just go on, but have these kind of dramatic outcomes. Like I've watched your energy increase. I've watched your weight decrease. It's like, I don't know, like you like going camping on your own and going fishing and like, I don't know, like this new version, this new almost revitalized version of Chris Lee that I hadn't seen since maybe I first met you before you were even married or any of that stuff. And so I don't know, lots of stuff has changed. And so I think that's where I would love for this to head is like what caused that or what, what's the difference, would you say? But before we jump into that, I think just people getting to know you a little bit seems like it would be a better place to start. So, Chris Lee.
Who are you?
Who are you? Where are you from? Like, where did you grow up?
Big question.
Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. So I grew up at the beach and
real quickly because I hear a lot of people say that Myrtle Beach, but North so because like why do people
don't associate me with
don't
regular
associate with
Myrtle.
it regular or Southern? Is there a differentiation between Myrtle Beaches?
I mean, they're pretty much the same. Like I think North Myrtle seems a little more like family oriented.
Oh, okay. That
and
makes
then
sense.
like when you hear Dirty Myrtle, like
That's like the party area.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it's all kind of changed and grown up so much in the last number of years that I've like moved away and like I don't know. It feels like almost like a different place, but. Ended up at going off to college and studying mass communications and like got into video editing and graphic design. And really, I think I wanted to go into film studies.
Okay.
But small Christian college.
Okay.
Closest thing they had to it was like a mass comm. And I didn't care about learning about radio stations and news stations, but it was part of it. And it was like, well, this is the closest I can get. And it kind of led me on the trajectory of like becoming this, creative professional. And I started out at actually in Christian studies. I thought I was going to be a youth pastor.
No way.
I
don't
didn't
think
know
I knew
that.
Which is wild now.
That is wild.
That sounds bad, but
No, yeah.
Well, we just know you.
Yeah.
And,
But
I mean, shade on youth pastors out there, but like, well, it's just funny too because like even
plenty of shade on youth pastors. I know a lot of those jokers, and those dudes are scumbags in a good way. I mean, they're my friends, but like, I wouldn't trust them with your children.
Scumbag
Whoa.
friends. I wouldn't.
So many things.
Everything I'm saying sounds far worse. And like, these dudes are just
Friends,
they're characters.
scumbags.
They're
Don't trust
they
jokers,
are characters. Plus, man, even how you ended up at a Christian college, because we talk about everything. There's nothing off limits. I was a youth pastor. I led a student ministry for 8 years.
Yeah,
Scumbag.
my point. You're
Scumbag.
proving my point.
Yeah, so you all know, scumbag. Man, it's probably why I even lasted as long as I did, because I did it for 8 years, where we all worked together. And I think because I didn't become a youth pastor till I was 40.
Yeah.
I had just turned 40 when I took the job. And so it's like, I had already been, and I had never even intended to work for a church ever. And it had no aspirations, certainly no aspirations of like, this could be a stepping stone for me to lead my own church. That was never what I had in mind. But I think, I was a joker in college, but I wasn't trying to be a youth pastor in front of some people and a joker in front of other people.
I mean, for me, I interned I think it was the summer before I went off to college. I took a gap year.
Yeah.
Because I had no clue what I was going to do.
Yeah, dude.
And I ended up interning with the youth pastor at the church I grew up in.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, dude, this is rad.
Like, what do you say that? What did you love about it at that time?
Just going to lunches and like picking kids up and like, hey, let's just go hang out at the beach.
Oh, okay.
And like, we weren't doing a lot of work. You know, like we were having fun and like we did, we did things and there was like good. It was like you were like being paid to be like a professional best friend and you're developing these relationships, which I think is like amazing. Like it's needed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, as an 18-year-old, I was just like, dude, like we get to just hang out and like the church will pay for us to go get lunches and like we can just, you know, we do whatever we wanted. And it was super fun. And so I went in thinking like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. I get paid to do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm gonna be a youth pastor. Went to do Christian studies and like the reality of like, oh man, like hermeneutics and like all this like stuff and all these theology classes and like I gotta write all these papers and I'm like, oh, you know. And I was like, well, I like playing with cameras. I like watching movies. And so I started to shift and like some of the people I was hanging out with on campus, like they were the media chairs for like organizations on campus and stuff. And so I started helping out like, you know, filming stuff, making short films and like, and just kind of found myself in that world. I was like, oh dude, this is so much closer to like my interest and the things that I'll be happy doing and telling stories and, you know.
It's really great that you figured it out at that point.
No kidding. Yeah. That sounds
instead
pretty early
of
on.
Further down that road.
So
Still trying to figure it out.
I don't know.
Didn't mean it like that.
No, but I get it.
I think it started out, I was like, oh man, this seems like a lot easier path, like a lot more fun path than like having to write all these papers and stuff. But I don't know. It was definitely the right move. Like, gosh, I've just been the worst, like the absolute worst, like youth pastor. Like I would have washed out for sure.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, you had enjoyed a lot of great stories. I can tell stories, and I don't have to like take all these classes, write papers. It's funny because like I, you know, was an educator, then started working as this student ministries director. Then I started going to seminary. Like I'd never been to seminary. I took 3 classes. COVID hit in the middle of my 3rd class, and I never went back. But it was, I don't know, interestingly, and that's a whole other sidebar, but like as far as like my faith and what I thought I believed and all that, the seminary classes were some of the worst things I had ever, or I say worst things, but they were some of the things that shook up. I think now I look at it as like, I'm so thankful, but like really kind of like, oh wow, I thought everybody, this was common knowledge, or that it was common knowledge was this, and you're saying we don't even know who wrote that book necessarily. We think it might be this person. Interesting, like those studies are wild to get into. But so you end up making film, doing all that stuff, but real quick, you're also in these bands, like because you love guitar, you play guitar. How did you get into music and guitar?
Church.
Oh, really?
So like youth group, like, you know, it's just, we should start doing worship songs. And
did you already know how to play?
So my best friend growing up, like right around the same time, like we started playing, some 6th grade probably, and just sitting around learning some chords. And like the youth pastor at the time showed us, you know, here's G, C, D, and E minor. And I was like, oh, great. We can play like every song. And so that's just how it started. And then we kind of started our own band and like went around and played for other church youth groups and different things. And actually like recorded like this album, you know, as in high school. It felt like a big deal. Like we got some studio time and it was fun. And then moving on to college, like I found myself, like I was always kind of drawn to those guys, like the artsy scene guys, the, you know, guys that are playing in bands that are making art, whatever, you know, photographers, all that type of stuff. And so yeah, just kind of naturally like gravitated towards them. And as soon as I saw an opening, I was like, oh, I could slide in and like be a part of this group, and like slid in and became like one of the guitarists in the campus band. And so like I was just regularly like every week playing for events and things like that. And then I was like, oh, churches will pay you. And so, you know, it's like, dude, I can get a Little Caesars and, you know, like on Wednesday night at this church, like they'll give you a Little Caesars and I get $50 for coming to do this. And so, gosh, I stretched that out over 3 or 4 years, like all through college. And then even like after college, like my first year out of school, I was like playing somewhere on a Sunday, and then I was playing somewhere on Wednesday nights. And then, you know, going off to these like youth group camps and stuff. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And I thought that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Until, reality hits and people start getting married, engaged, getting real jobs and
the
moving,
band breaks up.
People start having babies and it's like literally I'm like, oh, everyone just kind of moves off and like literally like they went like East Coast and like West Coast and California and like Brooklyn and like all these different places and like doing these things. And it's like, oh man, okay. I'll have to figure something else out and just like, wondering like in the wilderness of like, okay, so what do I do now? It's just, which I don't know, we'll get into it, but that probably feels like the story of my life of like this potential that is like left untapped that, I don't know. Like I think I'm just late to the show for a lot of stuff of like, oh man, everyone's doing these things. I'm like, all right, like not going off to college,
right.
Taking that year of just like, okay.
Oh yeah. That year, right.
And it just feels like that's kind of how my brain, I don't know how I operate. Like, we can get into all that later.
Well, why would we wait? Like, that sounds like
now.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of what you're saying about the band and like this Tale as Old as Time thing, Yoko or whatever, like that movie we love, like SLC Punk. And like, you have these things that you kind of embody when you're a kid and you're like, man, you reject the system. And I'm not going to be one of these suits and have work behind a desk. And then inevitably like,
that probably is part of it of like I've romanticized this idea of like I can figure out a path that is exactly what I want that like hits all these marks for me without selling out or having to do something I don't want to do just for money, and like
right.
And yeah, I don't know, it's like I think that's what's kept me feeling behind because I'm waiting for that thing to happen when it may not, and it didn't. It's like, oh, this thing's gonna happen one day. I'm gonna be in a actually make a living like playing music and whatever. And so I'm not gonna get a real job. I'm not gonna like turn square. I'm gonna try to stay this guy. And like you end up in this like failure to launch, like mentality of like, oh shoot, like everyone's kind of moved on and like they're making money and they're starting families and they're, I don't know, you just get left behind, and it's really hard to even figure out a path to catch back up to that. Like once you're behind, you're behind. And so, I don't know. It's just kind of been my life, I think, of trying to hold on to like this ideal of things that I have at my own like detriment.
Interesting.
And not that things have been bad.
Yeah.
And I've made a way and I've made things work, but like, I don't know. I guess just being kind of a dreamer and thinking that like the dream is just going to one day fall in my lap and happen. Without really, I don't know, necessarily putting in the work or the steps it takes to get there, trying to reap the benefits without like putting in the hard work, at least early on. Like, I think I've gotten better at kind of figuring some of that stuff out, but yeah.
Media is interesting though, too, because it does hold up some examples of where that idea has worked for some people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, and you can find the person.
Yeah.
Like, I think with you and you were the one that introduced me to Draplin and this designer that's like kind of was doing snowboard graphics and like all this stuff. And now is like this incredible designer, does really well. He is the brand.
Right.
And, but there aren't too many people like him.
Well, that's the dream. Like you want people to come to you and go, oh, you do this and you're great at it. We love it. Can you do that exact thing for us? And like,
in your style.
And I've gone into like client work and stuff, and it's I can do it.
Yeah.
It's tough for me because it's somebody already, they kind of come in and they know what they want. And it's not like what you want or like what you're good at or, like I kind of want to be known for like a brand of like, this is my aesthetic. This is my style. This is what I can bring to the table. How can you use that for us instead of me like figuring out how to make business cards for your real estate company or whatever.
Sure,
and like, that's great. Like people love doing that stuff and, but that's like, the chasing the money part I don't care. I want to like, it needs to be some like purpose behind it for me and like be driven by that of like, oh, this feels important. This is making a difference. This isn't just about making money. And so like, again, the idealistic thing that like that dreamer part of me, that's like, no, like, and I don't know. I struggle with like, am I just trying to do this the way that I want it, that I feel comfortable with? Like, or is it really like, no, man, this feels important and like it needs to be done and someone needs to do it. And like, if that means like, I'll stay broke my whole life because I'm like going to stick to these ideals and what I think is important and like can change the world, then like, that's worth it.
It can probably be both of those things at the same time.
Yeah, I hope, at least to some degree. I think like you were talking about this center, this gray area.
Yeah.
I think that's probably, I don't know, at least
and
in my
I've had to
humble
figure
opinion.
that out somewhat just to survive and like make money and stuff. But like,
Right.
you know, there are definitely the things that light me up and, you know, like, I don't know, get the, like my juices flowing. I can really get excited about when there's other things that it's literally just work. And I get, sometimes you just have to work because you just got to survive and make money and stuff. But I really try to take note of those things that really fire me up and go, oh, that's the thing I need to chase. Hard part is figuring out how to make that financially feasible and beneficial to you.
Exactly right.
True.
You know.
What, did I interrupt you? I sound like you were thinking something. You were trying to say something.
No, I was just saying he was saying that I don't know whether this is important to be chasing this idealistic thing to change the world or if it's just doing something how I want to do it. And I think both of those things can run parallel. They can both happen at the same time. Like you obviously have this set of ideals because it's important to you, who you are, how you think. And I don't think one is good and one is bad. Like I think they both can exist in the same universe.
Yeah.
That's all I was
And I think it's like the plight of because when I decided to become art education, like Jen and I met in art school, the reason I went to the education portion was, okay, at least there is a space in which I will have a reliable, predictable income. If I just go art, which is kind of what you've done to some degree, and I think your art is far more marketable, particularly and more so the case, you know, in today's digital world, which wasn't the case, you know, in the 90s when I was thinking about this. I was thinking, am I good enough to create something that people would buy what it is I make in art? Probably not. And I think, and who knows, but it's like the people around me were so into their art and so into self-promotion and okay with all of that and just into being a character. A big part of the art world is this art is cool, but do you know this dude's story? Do you know her story? And do you see how they dress? They don't seem to care or give a flip about have you seen the car they drive? They've covered it literally in tiles. Their whole car is covered in tile. And it's like they are living this thing. And then they become interesting and then their art's more interesting and more valuable. And it's almost like the whole person and their art is a thing. Not that art won't stand alone, because I think it does. And there's art that people love that people don't even know what the person is like. But that's the way it seemed to me. So I thought, I'll choose something where I can earn a living, because I know I do want to have a family. I do want to have, you know, a house and all of this stuff. I'm not willing to be a starving artist. Okay, I'm going to choose a career where I can maybe make a predictable income with this, even though it felt a little bit like the easier path. Difficult in one way, harder in another.
And I've asked you that. I'm like, man, like, what's it feel like to have this great talent, like this God-given gift? And, you know, not that you don't use it, but maybe use it in a different way. But again, like that ideal, like romanticizing this idea of like, man, like I think I was created to like do this thing and only this thing. And like just being so like all or nothing about, you know, I don't know. It's just the way my brain works. And I have to like work hard to not do that, you know, like I just end up being my own worst enemy. Thinking that way. And
the way not only our brains work in these ideals, but then the older you get, the more you realize, but the world really does work on money, and you do need, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so funny, particularly if you do, because you say like, you feel like you're behind and all that. I want to get into this. You end up getting married, you end up having a family and all that. So then it is even more real, like the case of like, man, my art's so important to me, and the being true to myself and not selling out. But this is the real world. This is the West, you know, I don't know of any place where it doesn't work like this, where you have to earn a living and that reality part sets in, and you watch these parts of yourself, these youthful, maybe even naive parts of yourself atrophy. Because you're like, oh, wow, I wish that could be true, but there's no world where that really is true. So it is somewhere in between selling out and the hard knocks of like this, you got to pay bills, and how do I stay true, and where do those two things cross? So like talk about family and all, like, because you like your friends went off, got families or whatever, maybe they did it before you did, but eventually you end up doing that too. So I met my wife in college and we dated for many years. Again, it was just like, bro, like, what are you dragging your feet on? Like, it's what I do. I drag my feet. All right. Like, I'm unsure. I don't want to commit to things. Like, it's, you know, like,
issues. I got those too.
So we dated for many years before we actually got married, and ended up in Charlotte. have 2 children.
Yeah.
Got a boy and a girl. And
how old are they now?
James is 10. Madeline is 6.
It's so crazy.
That is crazy,
It's
dude.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, she went into, she was a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She's not now. She was then. And I ended up working for a church.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like we were both just like, what are the things that are important to us? And like being a teacher, shaping young minds, like the next generation, like
Right.
felt like good, purposeful work. And like,
Yeah.
we knew we were never going to make a lot of money, like her being a teacher, me working at a church, but it felt like, oh, this is important.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like, I don't know, then I realized like the things I was passionate about were, like purpose driven, like, what are the things that I can really latch onto and care about, like in the world. And so, which led me to, I can work with nonprofits and I can tell stories and I can travel. I can go to Africa and like document, things that are
wells
happening
being
there,
dug and
like
stuff.
clean water wells and all this stuff. And like, and so I did find a way that like, so you can make money and do things you care about and things that will make a difference. And you're not just helping other people make money and like building their businesses. Like,
Right,
you can
right.
do stuff that feels, bigger in my mind.
Yeah.
Courtney taught for a number of years after that. And I kept working for the church and man, like, I don't know, like it was just this progressive thing where like, it seems like everything's great, like family's good and whatever. And man, like that passion in me and I don't even really know like what triggered it. But just like slowly started being like chipped away, just day after day after day. And, I don't know. I think I can be loyal to a fault and avoid things and try them. Just like I said, like it'll work itself out. It'll be fine. And I think I just found myself in that for, gosh, man, I don't know, nearly a decade or close to it,
Yeah.
And it was like just eroding everything, like work relationships, like my performance, my health. And, I don't know, just everything in my life. Like I can see like this just decline of things just like falling off.
So as you're doing all this purpose-driven work to help other people thrive,
Yes.
it's eating you up. Am I understanding that right?
It did start to feel that way of like, oh man, like, yeah, you're putting everything you have into this thing and you're helping other people have their best life is, all at the expense of yourself and your own health. And I don't know, you get disillusioned pretty quickly when you're like, man, like, especially, working at a church that, I'm doing all these things for this community, this larger community, the church, and literally the actual community around it.
That they're in.
And feeling like, gosh, I'm not even making enough money to like survive in this community that I'm helping them thrive, like like thriving was like so far, like we're struggling, like trying to make it. And I don't know, man, it's so heavy. It's like life just was too much. It was just hard.
Yeah.
And I think just the way my brain has worked, the way I grew up, like, I don't know, I didn't have the tools to deal with it. I think I had people around me. I didn't want to listen to them. I think there were a lot of wise people and people trying to speak into, and I just wasn't ready to hear it, couldn't hear it, didn't know what to do with it. And, I don't know. So it just felt like a pretty slow, painful, like decline in like all aspects.
So real quick, like what was happening that wise people were speaking into and what were the wise people saying? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? If you don't have to even be super specific, but like, what were they seeing happen? Because I mean, we're kind of on the sideline. I didn't know a bunch of it until like later on, after a lot of it hit the fan, and you and I end up having a lot of heart-to-heart talks.
Yeah.
What were wise people saying to you?
I think people could see I was hurting, and I was just carrying stuff. I think, I don't know, like I was just short with people, like just my reactions or my disengagement or perceived disengagement, like.
Was the decline from like burnout and overwork, or was it from like mental health issue? Like what? What was the like? I'm trying to figure out what the connection was. Like you're doing this purpose-filled thing, but you're not getting filled up, and it's declining. Like what is the thing that is creating that?
So I think I've always tied my value in what I do and can provide for people, and so I think I was trying to prove even to myself that like I work really hard. I put in all these hours. I like work through the night. And it was like this badge of honor that like, man, I haven't slept in 3 days because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And it was okay for a season. And like,
I'm not doing it for a good reason.
Yeah. And I'm not doing this for money. Like this is someone's eternity, like at stake, you know? And it's like,
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. That's heavy. Yeah.
And so that was where I was coming from. And it's like, oh man, like, but at the expense of my relationship with my wife, you know, and then eventually like my time with my children. And
so how is Courtney responding during all of this? Is she saying, and I mean, is this happening all the time? Because I can see sometimes, because I can remember us doing retreats for students or whatever, and you just don't get a lot of sleep, and you know for these 3 days or for this, 4 days, 4 nights, you're going to be down in Panama City Beach at this camp. You're not going to get a lot of sleep. But I mean, is that happening like all the time? And then what is Courtney saying about that?
So she was kind of like this trooper for years that would come with me and like fall asleep while I'm working and just hang out. And like
in the green room while you're editing, she's asleep on the couch right there.
Yeah. And that was fine when you're in your 20s and, you know, like you're whatever. Then
and before kids.
Yeah. You have kids and like everything just kind of changes. Life just gets more complicated and busier. And, and I don't know, like something in me, like trying to avoid that adulting side and having to deal with that stuff. And just knowing the stress of like, I could just feel the tension of like, he's just going to go put his headphones on and start working in the corner.
From Courtney, you can feel that.
Yeah. And so I could escape to the green room, to my like little cave with no windows and like turn the lights off and like zone out and just work through the night. And like, so yeah, I think I found a way that like I was avoiding things I should have been working on and digging myself deeper into this hole of like, you know, eroding all the relationships around me by chasing the thing that I thought was the good thing that was going to pay off, that would lead to the money, that would lead to like job security and like really go, oh man, we can never get rid of this guy. Look at all the work he's doing. Look at the things he's doing. And like, yeah. So like,
and your self-worth is all meshed up in because you are identifying yourself with, I created this and people love it and they love me because I create great things.
And I felt like if I stopped doing that,
stop loving you.
They would stop loving me.
So what are the wise people telling you to do? Are they telling you, dude, stop doing this? Or what? I mean, what is being said to you?
Yeah, that one's tricky for me because there were people saying, hey, we can see this. We can see the road you're on. We see the toll it's taking on you, and like talk to a professional, like go get help, talk to a therapist, like whatever, get counseling.
Yeah.
Take a break, this and, you know, all this stuff. And like, yeah, I hear that. But the same people that were telling me that stuff also needed things from me. And so it was like, well, okay, if I actually do that, if I take the time off or whatever, and like, maybe I'm sure there's some time management and things in there that I could have done better. Like
know this part about you a little bit.
I felt that they're talking to me as the friend, as Chris, the person, and then they're talking to me as an employee. And, you know, as we've got this business to run, that's not going to stop just because you need to go on vacation or you need to take a break.
Those lines get really blurry fast.
And it was really hard. Like, you know, because like, I think just the nature of working at a church or even in like a nonprofit is like a lot of your social life and your friends are built into.
You do become really close with the people.
And so it's like, oh, okay. Am I talking to Ed, the coworker? Am I talking to Ed, my friend right now? And it's like, you're telling me I'm hearing two different things because like at the end of the day, like there's things I have to do for you to do your job. And like, I'm holding you up and it, you know what I mean? So it always felt like, okay, I believe you. I believe that's what you want from me, but put on your work hat. And I don't believe.
Right. Because for instance, like in our case, if I have a camp coming up, but I don't think about it until like 3 days before it like broke, can you build this slide deck for me? Or can you create this video?
And I want to, because I'm like, oh, he needs me.
And this is my friend.
He sees my value.
Yeah.
And like, I want to come through and I want to, you know, and so I'll stay up all night for days or whatever I need to do to make sure it's done.
Yeah.
And like, I'm proud of it. And I can say, oh yeah, dude, tell everybody I made this. Like I'm proud of this thing.
Yeah.
And so like, I will put everything I have into it.
And in those environments, we like just have been, since we've all worked together, we are really, really generous with our praise and encouragement with one another. That is one thing that has never not been true, is that we're always like giving people credit where they have done stuff. But at the same time, these wise people are saying, stop doing that, or start getting out ahead of this. Or are they telling you, start saying no? Are they telling you that? And you just can't say no?
Say no. I heard it all the time. And I'm like, you're the person I have to say no to.
Yeah. You're telling me to say no, but what's going to happen? Did you ever try it?
Yeah, there were times where, I mean, but at the end of the day, like I wanted to do things. I wanted to come through. Like I was finding my value and worth
the
in
people
that.
pleasing kind of stuff.
And so, yeah, I mean, there were times, and then there were times that like it came back to me and was like, well, if I had known, like, you know, I never would have asked you or like allowed you. And then, I don't know, it feels gross for me. Like when people start going around me and like, well, I just didn't even ask you. I know you're really busy. Like, I just felt like people were treating me like I'm like fragile or something. And, you know, or,
and in fragile, they're just thinking, no, he's a human being that is already at capacity.
Yeah.
Because I can remember thinking that. Literally, when we worked together at the church, I can remember thinking, no, I'm not going to ask Clee to do this. He's going to see this bumper video I made, and it's going to be trash. But it's just going to have to be. It's just going to be, because I'm not going to ask him.
I don't know, like my whole identity was just kind of wrapped up in that. And then it turned into, like I said, that badge of honor of like, oh, man, I haven't slept. I haven't, you know. And it's like, it felt good for a season of like, man, like I can work really hard. Like nobody, who else is going to live this way?
Right, exactly. And the answer is nobody.
And like,
it's hard because in a lot of areas that is rewarded.
Oh no, I think it is
in
rewarded.
Corporate
Not
America,
at home.
like
not at home.
It is very much like, oh, well, you earned this thing because you put all of this into it, and it's like, we know that that's not the best way to live. Like we know that the margin and the saying no and all of those things are the things that make us a whole person, but it's not like that is just a church thing or just a you thing. Like it is
a cultural thing,
a cultural society thing.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a post about this recently where someone was saying like, let's stop glorifying that grind, because that grind isn't, well, it's amazing. And I can see, and I can even understand us being bootstrap people trying to build a nonprofit to help students, like what we're all working on right now.
Right.
There are a few moments, but it should be the vast exception when we are having to just bust ass and do like all this work. Maybe, I don't know, 3-4 nights a year where we should be having to do
like
that.
Right before really big events, but not on the weekly.
Or adapting, because we're just having to adapt because something, monkey wrench got thrown into the whole mix. And so it's like, we're going to have to change and adapt, and man, this is going to suck. But we're acknowledging this sucks and this should not be our rhythm. Because I've kind of gotten to this place where I just refuse to work in that place. Yeah. Because it's not sustainable. It's not good for me as a person. It's not good for my wife. It's not good for my daughters, my relationship with my neighbors, my health. Yeah. And so it's like, how can we? And I think we've been trying really hard, and Kellie's super organized, and we have people on our team who are helping us get out ahead. So we're working well out ahead. Yeah. But it just so happened that a lot of those systems weren't in place, or it was really difficult for you to put that into
and I mean, I think I will own that I allowed it to happen. You know, like I'm not putting the blame on anybody else.
Okay.
I mean, the other circumstances that were like not great, not ideal, but like I could say yes, I could say no, and at the time maybe I didn't fully realize that or want to. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it just like I said, like I felt like my life was eroding around me in like every facet, which led to like I gained a ton of weight, and you know, like I want to say like from the time I started working for the church, like over this course of these years, I think I gained 75, 80 pounds. Wow. And just from, I mean, if you're staying up all night long and like you're just
these aren't
eating
good habits.
You know,
there's no time for exercise,
and like,
eating trash.
You know, when I needed to escape, I would go on a drive and turn on music or whatever and like grab food, and you know what I mean? Like it was just like this shameful thing of like, I don't know, like
shame eating in your car.
Or just, you know, it was just like, I just wanted to like numb myself with something. Yeah. And so like health got really bad. Sleep was like, I wasn't sleeping anyway. And when I tried to sleep, it was, you know, I had terrible sleep apnea. It was like snoring, like Courtney and I couldn't sleep in the same room, which that's not great for a relationship. Yes. You know? So it's like, I'm sleeping in a guest room, and then my daughter comes along. And so now the guest room is now her bedroom. And so it's like, now I'm sharing a bed with my son. And, you know, like we go for years and don't really share a bedroom. And like on top of all the, you know, just this.
Yes, it's this compounding thing. The snowball's growing.
Yeah.
And it's just more and more and more of stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah. And just, I don't know, man. It's just life just becomes so hard, and, you know, almost like it just was unbearable at times, and not knowing and not wanting to show weakness, and thinking, dude, I'll figure this out. Like I'll just figure it out one day. And like so everything will fall into place and I'll be able to get through it and it'll be fine. And like, I don't know, you end up taking kind of things for granted that like, and not wanting to put into work and like the people around you and you, I don't know, you wake up one day and your wife leaves you, you know? Yeah. And, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, dude.
I probably would have done the same had the tables been turned.
Flipped, yeah.
You know? I don't like begrudge her for any of that. Like I put her through hell.
Yeah.
Not trying to. Not taking care of myself and in turn not taking care of her or the people around me. And you know, just giving up. I gave up. I slowly just gave up. Yeah.
And kept turning back to the thing you did have control over. These videos, these, you know, this job or whatever.
Well, again, I thought that was my golden ticket. I thought it was a thing that would work out. I thought it was a thing that is going to provide and give my family this life.
Just a little longer, like, babe. A little longer,
you know, we're so close. We're going to turn that corner. We're going to turn that corner until, you know, I don't know, that corner may never come. And like, you know, like hitting that realization, but you know, I don't know, just having to like completely hit bottom and, you know, and just be real with the people around me and with myself of like, this is where I'm at. This is where I've gotten to. And, you know, I wasn't hiding it well. I thought I was at times, but everybody around me knew. It was like, this dude's like hurting. This dude's struggling.
Yeah, I could see it.
And, you know, which made me angry for like, you know, like people trying to help. And I'm like, you know, it just made like something in me like, you know, which made me like reject people's help even more or turn more inward and run even further from it. Like I want it to be the one to like fix the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just making it worse. I was just digging myself deeper and deeper and deeper until like it eventually you can hide it for a while and it spills over. And
you did hide it.
And everything.
I think other than us seeing you hurting, I had no idea that you and Courtney, you know, that your relationship was in the place that it was. I didn't know you had been sleeping in a separate room for all these years. You know what I mean? There was a bunch of stuff. I just had no idea.
Yeah.
I just knew that things were rough and you seemed like you weren't getting much sleep.
Hit it really well, you know? And like, yeah, I mean, this will be news to people even now, I think, like that still don't, you know, even know because I don't know, we've played it pretty close, like kept it pretty close to the chest.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't think your business is necessarily everybody's business. Right. I don't think that's bad.
Yeah.
I just think, when it leads to a place where you don't have spaces in which you can share what's really going on, that becomes really dangerous, right? Because you're completely isolated and no one knows to even be able to help you. And you haven't asked for help. And if someone offers help thinking, hey, I'm just going to reach out and check, it's like, yeah, man, I'm good. Like, and you're thinking, however you responded, you know, I don't need help.
And a lot of this, like the time it got really probably the hardest, or like was I don't know, this like pinnacle point of like, man, things aren't good, and we either got to work on this or we're going to give up. Was kind of during COVID,
God,
and that was so hard to be isolated and away from people and not having to go to work and like. I pretty much moved into the garage. Like I wasn't sleeping in there, but like I moved my desk out there and I was just like chain smoking and like eating Papa John's, just like, you know, there's a stack of pizza boxes and a stack of empty cigarette boxes. And I'm just in there just like at my computer, just like working or whatever. And literally like 20 hours a day sometimes I'm just like sitting in the garage all through the night and like just avoiding my family. You know, like just of really thinking, I was like, well, I'm doing the right thing. If I go in, like, we're just going to argue, we're going to fight, we're going to whatever, and realize, and I'm just like making it
compounding,
worse,
by not dealing with it.
Just avoiding it.
And at a time where, my gosh, if there was ever a time where digital media was needed, right? I mean, this is this explosion of, we're going to try and do church and all these businesses, we're going to try and do business virtually, digitally. Everything is digital. So man, like as far as that part of it and finding worth or ability and to create products that at least are, you know, going to help
working
in some
for a
way.
church, like being that professional, you know, Christian or whatever. And like, gosh, like I'm helping other people tell their stories and like them getting help and whatever. And it's like, I can't.
Is that ever hitting you while you're editing these videos and these people sharing, you know, these stories or whatever, and you're like, wow, this person's talking about how they're turning their lives around. And I'm literally, if I look up, and I don't want to look up for long, but if I look up, I'm watching my plane nosedive.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, I'm going to disqualify myself from like this role, this position. I've earned my way to this place. I'm like, I got my seat at the table. But if I'm honest, if people really know who I am, then
my
like
life's falling apart.
I'm disqualified.
What a crazy thing. At a place that's supposed to help people,
Yeah.
you felt like if that came to light that you would
Whether
be
that
like,
was true or not.
Yeah,
That's at least how
yeah,
I felt, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I find that it would be hard to believe, knowing these people, that it would have disqualified you, but I can completely understand the fear of that, of being open and honest in that way. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So what are those first conversations with yourself like then, as you say you start having really tough conversations with yourself, like something's got to change?
Well, I mean, drag it out another 2-3 years. And, Courtney's dealing with her own stuff.
Sure.
She's
We
having
all
a
are.
hard time.
Everybody is.
She ends up switching careers, which I think for her, she's like, oh, I have an out. It's like, we're not like struggling this thing together. Like she completely goes in the corporate world, makes a lot more money than she was making teaching.
Yeah.
And so she found an out, and like, dude, good for her.
Yeah.
She got out of this thing, and I wasn't ready to even face it, to like decide, I want better. I want different. So I just let her go. It was like, well, I guess this is it. I'm just going to stay in my garage and stay like cocooned in this, like, I was like, it just turned into like this like mausoleum, like I was just like literally like entombed in like my own like self-hatred and grief and just all the stuff, She moved out of the house. We were, splitting time with the kids, and I stayed. I was just like, oh man, this is it. But I was still in it. Like all those memories, all those conversations, like, are just everywhere. The fingerprints of those are just on everything. And I just decided to like stay in it. It almost felt like a punishment, like a self-punishment of like, you created this, you stay in it.
You get to live in this.
And just a hard place to be. And all the while acting like I was okay, or trying to, at least publicly, but like, it was a lot easier just to stay home and like stay in the garage. And until, I don't know, man, my health just got so bad. And like, I was just, you always hear about people like this slope, and they end up on like risky behaviors and just doing stupid stuff. And like me, like just gunning it on the freeway, like driving down 45 with my eyes closed, just stuff like that. Just testing fate, and just like not wanting to be here. I was just like, man, everything hurts. Like everything hurts. And I just don't want to feel it. I just don't want to feel it anymore. And every day, every night, just like literally like, God, if you're there, if you're real, just take me. Just let me not wake up in the morning. I just don't want to feel this again tomorrow. And, all the while, like working for a church, also like working in like nonprofit world, like specifically with people that are dealing with like suicide, and how unbelievably hard it is to like, I'm struggling with this. Like I feel this way when we're literally trying to educate people that like, this isn't an option.
Right. Yeah. There's another way. There's another answer, and you're struggling with it.
And I don't know, just started doing just the dumbest stuff. Like literally just trying to hurt myself. Like, what are the ways that I can do this? How does this look like an accident? How does it look like, oh, he just fell asleep and didn't wake up, like just thinking through stuff. Like, and that's just such a weird spot to be in. Like, like I had a gun that I just carried around. I kept it in my truck, or kept it in my bag, and just like carried it with me. And just over and over again replayed the idea of like, what, just kind of role playing this thing, fantasizing like what it would be. And like, it's just heavy. It's, I didn't know how to get out of it. The last like big fight that, I remember having with Courtney, at this point, I don't even remember what it was about, but I was like, that's it. She didn't know I had the gun. As far as she knew, it was still hidden away in the closet in the lockbox or whatever. And, I took off. I just left. I'm a runner. Like when I get, so that fight or flight, like I just decided that night, I was like, I don't want to fight. And so I just took off. And for some reason, I don't know if it's I don't remember if I said anything or what, but it was like her and the kids. I took off, I jumped in my truck and just left. Something I said or whatever, she went and looked and the gun was gone, which she didn't know I'd had it for months at that point, at least a couple of months probably. And, yeah, so I was like, this is it. I'm just going to go find somewhere to do this. So I was just driving, trying to work up the nerve, just riding, you know, one hand on the steering wheel, one hand with the gun, just like, okay, I didn't want to hurt anybody else. I didn't want to do it. You know, I was like, I got to find somewhere that's like, you know, and, my phone, once she realized the gun was gone, she kept calling. And, I was just ignoring every call. And, I didn't know she had called the police. The police were driving around looking for me. And, she called you. And, you called me or started texting me, I guess. And, I don't know. It took me a while. I don't think I was responding. And just the way it worked out, I had just gone out driving and had driven all through. I was out in the country roads just driving around, and I had worked my way the long way around like Monroe and was like coming back up towards Waxhaw when your messages started coming through. And found my way to your porch. And I don't know. That was, yeah, I don't know. Like literally walked up and gun in hand, like you taking the gun from my hand and just sitting through the night on your porch. You know, police showed up, like they finally tracked me down somehow. I don't know how all that worked out, but all of a sudden a cruiser comes rolling up and, gosh, man, I don't know. I'm just, so thankful for you. You just find yourself in that place, and I don't know how I got there. It just was like this steady like decline, and gosh, I don't know. Like you really can't control it. Like everything in my life just felt like pain, and you know, I couldn't fix it. I didn't know how to fix it, and I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to know like the mess I had made of my life, the mess that, you know, my marriage was. You know, it felt like, oh, they know me as this person. They know me as this, you know, guy that works at the church that does this and that and whatever. And like, if they really knew who I was, like what a fuck up, like completely like, and I've just messed everything up. And I felt like I couldn't say that. And it was, I don't know, man, just like a burden. I felt like a burden, and it felt like literally the best thing is if I just wasn't that, you know, if I wasn't a burden, if I wasn't weighing people down, like it just felt like everything would be better. People's lives would be better. Like I was like, yeah, people will be sad, but once they move on with their life, it'll be better. And, you know, I don't know. I didn't feel like I was in control of it.
I remember Courtney calling me and just being surprised to get a call from Courtney. You know,
right.
Like, you and I had enough conversations where I knew that you guys weren't together, but I didn't know kind of how things were. And I just started immediately texting you. And I mean, it's interesting. I should go back and look, and I don't even remember what I said, but something about like, dude, whatever's going on, whatever you're feeling, whatever, just come hang out with me or tell me where you are. Yeah. You know, and I'll drive to wherever you are. Excuse me. Yeah. It just scared me to death thinking about you riding around just like, you know, in despair, thinking, knowing that you had the gun. You know, and I was just like, oh, shit, dude, this can't happen. And just messaging. I don't even know how many times I messaged you, but like, and then when I saw your silver, I'm like, I'm just going to sit on the porch and seeing your silver truck pull up. And I was like, oh, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
And then to watch you walk up with the gun and hand it to me and all that, and eventually even take a bullet out of your pocket and hand me like, here, any of all that too. And I was just sitting there and just figuring out, where are you really at? And hearing for the first time so many things that I didn't know had been going on, that were going on. Yeah. And then I think we hit up Chaz, like our buddy Chaz down in Athens, who is, he was working on his counseling degree and is now a full-on counselor like down there. And he's like, bro, I'll drive up. And I think it was like, I just made sure you were okay. You had no way to take your life or whatever. You promised me, that you were gonna meet us. And so then Chaz came up, and I think we just literally just started designing what is next.
Right.
I don't know, like where do you go from here? Because like, that's not an option. You taking your life is not an option. There is a way, and it's going to be an absolute like shitstorm wading through. It's just going to be nothing but difficulty for so long.
Yeah.
But I think you can do this, like trying to convince you that you could do it and all that. Like what were those conversations? I don't know. How did that land with you? Because I mean, thank God, here we are. This is years later now.
Yeah.
And you're here, and you're the healthiest I've seen you since I first met you even.
Right.
What is that? I don't know. What changed? What has that been like?
I think people were trying to love me. And I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to let them for some reason. I don't know why that is. Like, and I think I finally just let that happen. I just like accepted it and realized, oh, they don't want anything from me. Like they want for me. And I don't know why I couldn't wrap my head around like that idea before, but it was, they just want, like they tell me this because they need something. They want some from me. And, particularly with like you two guys, like you and Chaz, I didn't feel that, not in that moment.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh dude, like Chaz dropped everything. Like he's got his own life hours away and like just showed up, and, gosh, I don't know. It's like, oh, that is like how it should be and like how it could be. And so, I still had so many like other problems. And like, now I'm like, okay, shoot. Like right after that, like I decided to leave. I was like, well, I'm leaving Charlotte. And I did briefly for a few days.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So I called, like, I was like, hey, I'm out. Like the people that needed to know for work reasons and stuff. And was like, hey, this is what happened. You're probably going to find out one way or the other. And just like kind of laid it out there and was like, and I'm gone. And so I left. And,
when you say found out that you and Courtney had split, or like what do you mean
everything.
found out? Oh,
so
everything.
Like I hadn't really told really anybody. I'm like, hey, this is all that happened. And then like, yeah, this is where I found myself. And like, this is literally what happened. And like police are looking for me. And like, I'm just like rolling through town, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I left and then I was like, shoot, man, like I've got kids, like it's wild to think that I was ready to kill myself, but leaving and, I ended up back in South Carolina and, went and stayed at my sister's place. And, I was like, man, like I have a life. I've got kids, I've got responsibilities. And like, that's the thing that like brought me back. I was like, I can't just run away from this. Like wherever I go, I'm all there. And so like all the stuff that got me to this place and like that I'm carrying and feeling, it's with me here too. So like, I can't just leave like my children. And so that was really the thing that like kind of brought me back. And, I don't know, like that was just the realization, like, oh, okay, I've got to face this thing. And, then there were the Chazes there, you, the people that were now, like once people kind of found out, there were daily touch points and, hey, let's go grab coffee. Let's do this. It's just literally like I was being babysat is the way it felt, but like in a good way, like, I felt like I was like being held. I think I'd felt like I was trying to figure this out and be on my own for years and just like, stuffing it all down. That feeling of, dude, like drop your weight and like, let us help you carry it is, like it really did feel like I was being held, and just cared for, and not that I like, I think all along the way there were people that were trying to do that, and I wasn't letting them.
Well, we were all, I think, responding to a version of you that didn't seem to need that much help. Yeah. I think we were all helping to a degree at which what we knew. I don't think we knew the weight you were actually carrying because we didn't know the real story, all the shit was going on behind the scenes. And so it's like, knowing that now and knowing more of it and being invited into what was the real Chris Lee instead of like,
it's just so everything was, there's just so much shame in all of it. And knowing that like I've done and said things that like I wouldn't want anybody to know, like out of anger or hurt or whatever it was, and things that, you know, I don't want people to know that was even a side of me or a part of me or who I was in that moment or just something I did. Like just, dude, no, I don't want people to know that.
Right.
But it is part of me. And like, it's gotten easier to like, kind of admit that like, dude, my life only got there because I allowed it to get there. And I literally like put one foot in front of the other to like guide myself to that place. And it gets to a point where it's out of control and you can't control it. Like it's controlling you, you know, like you don't deal with your stuff. It deals with you or, you know, like you've heard that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And you know, I take full responsibility for that. And I don't know, man, like I just had to hit a point. It just sucks that it took me to literally get to the absolute bottom to go, I can't do this anymore. I don't know. Like, what are the things I can do to like start these little things and like, you know, hopefully they'll snowball into big things and like, you know, and it's just a slow like process that, dude, it's hard. Like every bit of it is hard, but it's like you get these little glimpses. You go, oh, okay, there's a result. There's like something like worth it. And you just keep pushing and you're like, I don't know. You kind of gamify. It's like, how good can I make things? Like, can I push this stuff?
That's a great question.
You know? And I don't think you realize you're doing that until, you know, you can, in hindsight, I guess, you can look back and say, oh, okay. These things like, just like I figured out this step by step to end up at the lowest point of my life, I can do the same thing to keep climbing up higher and higher. But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's been a wild, you know, a wild journey.
Because it's been years now. You are not in that space anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not like, again, from like Tuesday to Thursday on any given week, it's not like there was going to be any big visible change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you started doing so what were those little steps that led you from, you know, the wheelchair through PT all the way where now you're walking on your own? You know, you don't even go to PT anymore or whatever. Like,
I think the biggest thing is, gosh, I was so tired all the time, physically, mentally. I couldn't sit down. Like, even if I was like, I allowed myself to like plop down and like, all right, I'm just going to veg out for a little bit and watch TV. As soon as I turned, I'd be passed out.
Yeah.
But I was never rested. I couldn't get sleep. Like physically, like I had gotten so overweight. Like I couldn't breathe when I would lay down. And you know, like you fall asleep and like I'd scare myself. I'd like jump because like I would hear a noise. I'm like, oh, that's me like struggling to like stay alive.
Like snoring. Like,
like I
wake
was
yourself
like,
up.
oh, you know, like and I think something's in the room with me and I'm like, you know, but really it's like, I was like, dude, that's embarrassing. I started thinking about like, we go like on these like work trips and we had having share rooms. Like I was embarrassed to like share a room with somebody. It's like, dude, they're going to hear me through the wall. Like, you know, like I just wanted better for myself, I think. And I was tired of feeling the way that I felt. And so I don't know, I just started trying these little things to see like, can I improve this, you know, this thing. And, I don't know, just started putting little things in motion that now, like, I don't know, I guess it feels like it's just the way my life, like a lifestyle. But, I think just overall, I was just tired of feeling that. I think I had gotten over like the emotional, like hurt and stuff. And then it was like, okay, I feel like that's kind of under control. This feels like it's getting a little bit easier, better every day. I'm kind of figuring this stuff out. I'm like trying to reignite my purpose and like some of the passions that I had lost and just like, okay, I feel a little bit of enjoyment from this. I'm going to pursue that, you know, whatever. I was trying to say yes to things. Like people are like, hey, come over, let's do this. I have an opportunity. I was just like, God, I don't want to do that. That feels stressful to me, but I'm going to say yes. And so for the next year, I'm just going to say yes to whatever comes my way, whether I want to or not, just to force myself to do it.
Like these social opportunities.
Because I will be introverted. I will become a hermit.
Yeah.
I will go in and I will shutter the blinds.
Yep.
And like, I will be okay to live that way. And
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will feel okay to live that way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not going to do you any good.
And so I was like, dude, I can't allow anything to get me back to that place again. And so I was just like, I'm going to say yes to whatever. And so I just found myself hanging out with people I normally wouldn't hang out with. I was doing things. I don't know. It was just like
I remember
say
those
yes to
conversations.
whatever.
Like, bro, no way. That's
I don't
awesome.
know. I'm going to this thing. Like, I don't know what to expect. And just trying to pull myself out of, whatever it is. And it helped. It definitely helped.
Yeah.
That, and just, I don't know, like, not that I was seeking out conversations, but just being honest with people. I found myself like the result of things was probably that I was embarrassed or whatever it was that kept me from being honest with people. And dude, it was such a weight off to be like, no, man,
Things suck.
everything sucks. Like, I don't know. There was a relief there that, yeah. Just honesty, and I think since then I've tried to be as much of an open book to my own detriment at times.
You're
but
quite
it's like,
honest these days.
Yeah, and so it's, I don't know, it's been the right move though, for sure. Like it's only been like an upward trajectory like since then. Not easy.
Oh yeah, certainly.
No.
I haven't heard anything that's
Nope.
easy so far. Everything you've done has been against what you naturally want to do.
Right.
It
Yeah.
seems like.
But it's been worth it.
And then wait, man, talk about that. Because I love telling people this. Like it's I like it's almost like I'm just so pumped for you and proud of you. But I won't say it. Talk about that.
So yeah, again, like I said, I couldn't breathe when I was sleeping, like struggling to put my socks on, and I shouldn't be out of breath because I walked up the stairs. And that's where I found myself of just like, gosh, man, like, why am I sweating? I'm cooking eggs. There's no reason for me to feel this way. Yeah. And again, like saying yes to these things, like we found ourselves on a camping trip.
Yeah, we went back.
And by that point I had just tried to start eating differently. I don't know, just trying little things. And I had some progress, I think, by that point, and lost a little bit of weight, not much. I don't know, maybe 20, 30 pounds, something like that.
That's a lot of weight,
That's a lot of
by
weight.
the way.
Yeah. But again, still like overweight, very out of shape, and like
At your highest, what did you weigh?
370.
370.
Yeah.
And how tall are you for people listening?
6 foot.
6 foot, 370. Okay.
Yeah. So we went on this camping trip that nothing crazy.
Yeah, it
but
was like 3 miles. But I mean, it's pretty steep. The whole first 2.5 miles
with a big
pretty
pack,
steep.
and I'd never really done it. Like I've had opportunities, but again, I disqualified myself. I was like, I'm going to slow everybody down. It's not going to be fun for them. So you guys go have fun, and I'll see you when you get back. Like that was the story of me just like, okay,
now
I'm gonna
yes.
self-eliminate myself from this thing. And I was like, okay,
shit, I gotta say yes to
yeah.
this.
I was like, I'm saying yes to everything. And we went, and dude, it was amazing. It was, yeah, we went with some young guys that were 15 minutes. Like they sprinted
because they're
up the
like
mountain.
what is it? Ultimate Frisbee players. Like they play in these
And
leagues
so-
and stuff.
Can't
And these
put
guys
yourself in
flew
that
up the
bucket.
mountain.
You
And
know,
I'm like,
so-
bro, I'll stay right with you. Let's go.
Yeah. And so Ed stayed with me and walked with me the whole way. And he was like, however long this takes. And made it up, and I was celebrated with my cigarette at the top of the mountain.
And don't paint me like a hero. Inside, I'm like, damn, dude, this is taking a long time.
It did, yeah.
I was
I mean, it
thinking
took
that to myself.
And there's
But
old
at the
people
same
with their
time-
walking sticks and their dogs past us, and I'm like, it was.
No, but it was great. I was pumped that you were doing it. I think that's the
Yes.
thing that I was so excited
Yeah.
about. It was like, bro, you've never done this? Like, these views are stupid. Like, this is going to be an incredible weekend.
And it was, and yeah, man, I don't know, we made it to the top, set up camp, did the whole thing, and I just remember I just disappeared for a little bit, and I went and found my spot, and just sat there and was like, oh, dude, I can be proud of this.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
It seems like such a small thing, oh wow, you just walked up a mountain,
No, it
but
doesn't.
It was awesome.
yeah, I don't know. There's so much I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
And to taste a little bit of that was oh, I need some more of this. I need to find the things that get me to this place, that make me feel that.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, kind of since then, that's the type of stuff I've kind of been chasing.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, I was like, oh, well, this was easier losing a little bit of weight. What if I lose a lot of weight? What if I keep moving towards this thing? And so that's been the really, the big thing.
The most visible thing, obviously, to all of us, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Yeah. As of today, it's like 130 pounds.
Oh
down.
my gosh, dude.
So I've got a goal. I've got another 40 pounds. I'm trying to get to 200.
Okay.
And so it's gotten a lot harder. Like the closer I get, like the results, like I've got to, you know, but it's been fun. Again, it's like one of those things I've like learned to like gamify, and it's been kind of fun, but it's socially, it's not fun.
Right, yeah.
Having
everybody
birthday
goes out to eat
parties
so many
you know,
things
like,
gather
I
around
also
food.
give you
all
a
the
lot of
gatherings.
hell.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry.
When you guys are going to eat your tub of meat again.
But again, like, I don't know, like I just know it's worth it. The hard work is worth it. And like the going without now, like, you know, how do you phrase it? Like what you want now versus what you like want most is like, man, what I want most is like far more important. And so I can, you know, go without and now for in later, like find that thing that like I'll reach that place I want to be. And like, maybe I don't have to be so strict or not, but like I legitimately like enjoy it. And like, I feel
it's obvious,
like amazing. Like I had crazy inflammation and pain. And like, there were days I couldn't walk. Like I'd be so inflamed in like my joints. And like, that's just gone. It's just gone. And like, yeah, I feel a bit like a crazy person, especially when we go out to eat and I'm just like all these weird requests. And I'm like, you know, can you just
bring me 4 beef patties, please?
Fine.
You know,
Confidence. Live in
man,
that.
because it's working.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. And I don't want to be like some weirdo. I'm not trying to convert anybody to like my way of life, my lifestyle. Like join my meat cult. But like,
Join my cult.
Again, it's weird. It's not for everybody, and like it won't work for everybody. But like, it's something that's worked for me, and it's like.
Well, and it may not be for always.
Yeah.
You may do this for this season and then get to your weight and then find something that,
But I think going for so long and feeling so out of control and just, this is something that I've been able to like control and design and really go, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. This works. I'm going to stop doing this. Like there's metrics. Like I can see that I'm doing well. I'm getting the results I want. And if I'm not, I'll adapt and adjust. And so like, I don't know, I've gone like head first, like deep into this, you know, lifestyle, this like, you know, whatever, and tried to learn as much as I can about it. And, you know, I don't know, as long as it's working, like I'm feeling good. I'm going to keep doing it. And like, I don't know, like your stomach, like your gut being like your second brain or, you know, like it's wild. Like not just like mental clarity and like, focus and all the things, but man, like my brain feels vastly different from like where I was and the way my thought process was and just the way I see the world is wildly different from the food that I'm eating or not eating, I guess. And I guess that's individual. That's different for everybody, but yeah, I can tell. And like, even like, you know, if I just go out of town or I end up with one meal or something, I'm like, oh, like I can feel not that like this dark cloud starts to hover over me, but like I'm not so hard on myself that like I can't like break if I want to.
Right.
Like I can take a break. I can enjoy life. I can whatever. But I can feel it now at this point. It's so far removed from my body and my routine that when I do have something, I go, oh, I feel it. I can feel my thought process, my outlook. I can feel things shift a little bit. And I'm like, okay, get back on track. And so I don't know, it's been like a crazy thing for me to like, for the first time to like really learn like some like self-discipline and, you know, and it's been transferable to other parts of my life. And, you know,
and it's taken a long time. It happened over a long period of time.
Just a great lesson of like things that are hard, like can be worth it. You know, it's like, don't give up on them just because they're hard. And like, it just trickles into everything. Like my relationships are better. Like I'm able to be a better father to my kids. I have more energy, you know, like I'm not passed out on the couch or whatever. It's like, I want to do things. Like I want to go on more camping trips. I want to go hiking. Like it's, you know, I can just do things I couldn't do before, or I was afraid to try. So I don't know. It's kind of like changed everything. So
dude,
a wild trip.
That is. And I think there's more in this conversation, like the emotional pieces and some of that. I think we need to have you back on and talk about those things. But I don't know, man. I'm so thankful you're here. So thankful you're my friend.
Yeah.
It's better because you're here.
Yeah.
And thanks for being so honest.
Yeah.
When you came on, we talked to you about like, no, man, you're on this health journey. Come talk about this. I'm so thankful that because the last thing honestly on my mind was us getting into the night that you showed up at my house.
Yeah. Well, I
it's just such a big piece of the story, but I definitely
is,
wasn't going to,
yeah.
I've never told it. I haven't told that story to anybody.
Well, I mean, I don't either.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's very few people that actually kind of really know.
Yeah.
And like that was one night. Like
Yeah.
I was living through a lot of those nights.
Yeah.
That night just happened to play out the way that it did, like
Yeah.
the way it should have.
And
It was supposed
thank
to.
God.
But dude, that was like that was a lot of nights.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then having to get up and go to work or whatever and just pretend like
It's all good.
everything's great. You know, like nothing's going on. So, you know.
I don't know. I guess I'm just so thankful that you were willing to be honest and share that. Like, I think that story and how you got there, people listening are in that place or close to that place or are afraid they're headed
Right
to that
now.
place.
Yeah.
And I think that there's hope in that story.
Well, that's what I spent years doing.
Right.
Helping other people tell their stories and go, dude, there's so much meat on what you just said.
Yeah.
Let's explore, you know, like digging that thing, like pulling it out of them. Like someone's going to hear this and it's like, they're going to relate to it. You know, this is important work. And I'm, you know,
And now it's you.
for me to, you know,
Yeah. Be that
I
person.
don't want to be the guy that's pushing other people to do it and not willing to do it myself,
Yeah.
Heck
you
yeah.
know, and it's hard. It's embarrassing. It's, you know, but like,
Yeah, man. I hope it's less embarrassing.
yeah, for sure.
I
In the
hope
moment,
that
it feels,
it's just what it means to be a human.
yes, absolutely.
And so many people are there that would never
I think
share.
when you're in it.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
feels
Oh,
and
I understand
just
why.
the shame.
I understand why. It's just.
I think particularly for men.
Yeah.
Like it's quit being a pussy, get up, rub some dirt on it, walk it off. Like all these things you're told your whole life. Like
Yes.
don't show men don't cry.
Yeah. Stop crying.
Utter
Stop
bullshit.
Crying.
Just
I'll give you
like,
something to cry
it's
about.
It's a superpower
Yeah.
to be able to feel your feelings and to feel feelings for other people. Like
Yeah.
to have empathy for people. And like I feel like that is probably less now than it used to be, but the way I grew up, the people, you know, like there was love underneath it, I think, from people.
Oh yeah, I
but
think
people
so.
just don't.
They had
you
never
know.
learned how to share it appropriately or in a healthy ways ever.
Yeah. And so, you know, don't show weakness, don't show emotions, don't let anybody see you cry, like all this stuff that you hear. And it's like, man, nope, let them see you cry.
Yeah.
You know, feel it, feel every last drop of it,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know. It's important.
So thankful for you, bud.
So proud
you.
of you.
Thanks for coming on the show and being so honest.
Yeah, dude.
And now you got to edit this stuff.
Let's go.
It's going to be so fun.
That's gonna be so fun.